and you can't use tricks and gimmicks and magic tricks only take you so far. But it's gotta taste good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really the essence of it. And I think you had a kind of a conversation with Matthew Peters on the podcast about, just that basic, well-seasoned steak,
Yeah.
Of course, in a competition, you do have to show technique.
Sure.
So, you got to get past that. But there's things that you can do.
So how much then? So that leads to the question, like how important is the taste? So have you ever been in a judging position? I'm not trying to put you too much on the spot, but have you ever been in a position as a judge where that tastes exceptional?
Yeah.
Not a lot of technique on it. That one has a ton of technique. Yeah, that one has to win. Or I mean, how do you decide?
Well, just 2 days ago, I was having a conversation with the chef, talking about the score sheets for national coming up, and I think the primary thing when you look at scoring kitchen and taste, taste is the number one. It's got to have the highest. I'd say probably 40% for taste. Then craft skills and technique. You got to show some skill here. And then after that, how does it look is kind of the third. And then, after that, you start looking at organization and sanitation and work habits and all those kind of things. But back to your question, I think taste is the most important thing. But it can taste great. It can be, the best flavor you've had. But if the technique isn't there and if they're not showing any skill and they're not, really showing much else, it drops pretty quickly,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because you're also being measured on how clean do you work and
Yeah.
your professional skills and everything that goes with it. You're being measured as a chef.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You're not being measured as you're being measured as a chef.
And that's kind of another thing that we talked about is that, this past year when we judged the Chef of the Year competition, they could bring in one commis to help them in the kitchen, and that it was really restricted as to what the commis could do.
Yeah.
And it's really, at the end of the day, it's the chef's decision. If he asks that commis to do this and to do that, and that commis doesn't execute it well, it's going to fall on the chef, Now, if that chef is just leaning on the commis, you can tell that the commis is really the culinarian here, and the chef is just, that's a different story.
Yeah, certainly.
But, yeah. So,
But even if that is the case, like how many? I mean, not. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but how many great chefs out there in the world? It's their chef de cuisines that really. We all know, there's a lot of that. Like there's a face, but it's really the chef de cuisine in the kitchen that's like really the one making all the great food, and that's very common. So going back to competitions, mystery baskets, because I know this is probably one of the more common ones, especially for a lot of the local shows. And I'm just throwing out the local shows, but it's like I'm putting on a cooking competition tomorrow. It's going to be a mystery basket. It's not affiliated with anyone. It's just like it's the go-to.
Yeah.
Not only is it the go-to for competitions, it's also the go-to for a lot of job interviews.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of
that.
Yeah. A lot of culinary job interviews for chefs. The first thing you do is you're going to throw them a mystery basket. Do you have anything that you do strategically to prepare? Because how do you prepare for a mystery basket competition or a mystery basket job interview?
Well, you have to kind of think what is it that you might get? Are you going to get lamb? Are you going to get pork? Are you going to get chicken? Are you going to get seafood? What are you going to get? And then, it's the old adage that we try and take the mystery out of the mystery basket.